Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm late, sorry.
It's all right.
Yes. Hello, Faye. How are you?
Hey Katie, you're not late. I'm actually unusually early. I was here a minute early.
Oh, oh,
I'm
bless
more of
you.
a 10 seconds before. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not normally this bad. I don't know. The summer holidays, it's just been a nightmare this year. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Just people visiting from abroad, seeing
Yeah.
family, house hunting, um, going on holiday myself next week, and now I'm madly trying to find a dog sitter and yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. Finding a dog sitter is one of the most stressful things about going on holiday.
It is, because I'm not, I'm not in an area that you know, I'm here temporarily, so
Yeah.
I've never really set anything up. Um, and yeah, it is. Have you got a dog? What dogs have you got?
I've got a cockapoo,
Oh,
Lottie.
lovely.
She's 4.5. Um, and funnily enough, I've been in a dog walking. We've been in a bit of a quandary because basically we got binned off by our previous dog walker.
Right.
She basically turned around to us at the beginning of the summer holidays and went, did I mention I don't do term time only? And we went, at no point did you say that. And we're not going to need walks for our dogs over the summer holidays because we're here and we want to walk our dog. And she went, well, I can't do that, so I can no longer help you. So we were like, oh.
Oh,
So she let us know a month ago, and so
yeah.
I was like, I need to try and find someone new. And it's only a couple of walks a week. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
asking for like 5 walks a week. But we
But
have,
like the rest of the rest of the
yeah,
week, the rest of the human race, actually has to work the rest of the year.
yeah. And I just was like, so yeah, I found someone, thankfully. So yeah,
Well, Nick's just joining us too. Sorry, I didn't introduce you. Maybe as Nick joins us, I can introduce you. Nick, this is Faye. Faye. Sorry, Robin, this is Faye. Faye, this is
Morning.
Nick. This is Robin. Robin, this is Nick.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello,
Right,
hello.
sorry, I'm late. The Zoom was just having a right fit.
Oh, does it decide to update as you started it? That's what
Just
normally happens.
wouldn't open. Just wouldn't open. So I've had to restart my Mac. And it's here now. It's working. So
Oh, good, excellent. Oh, well, welcome both of you, and thank you so much. It's nice to. I know we've met before, Nick, digitally, but Faye, obviously, it's lovely to meet you as you are now my coach.
yeah.
Hooray!
I feel like a supermodel saying that. So, but yes, but for anyone who's listening and who doesn't know, which you should, but who doesn't know, Maximum Mileage is RunUltra's official coaching partner. So do go off and have a look at both Faye and Nick's great articles on various topics that will help you in your training. Um, I suppose we could start with Robin, who's about to tackle a 24-hour track race. Uh,
Yes.
oh my God, why?
Exactly my question, Robin.
Yeah,
Why?
yes.
I need to know how difficult it is. I think that's the one thing that
oh,
drew
it's
me
really
to
hard, mate. Like, forget doing it. It's fucking solid.
it.
Have you done one, Nick?
No, but I don't like running on tracks.
No.
Really, I don't
No.
mind doing a session on a track for speed work, but
Mm.
more than that, more than an hour, no way, no chance.
I think it's an interesting, you've definitely got to have a foot in two camps here because it's definitely, I think you're verging into road running territory here, Robin, with the track stuff.
Hmm.
Aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Although to be honest, because I did like a Sunday or two ago, I did 3.5 hours around the track.
Wow.
And honestly, I find it quite therapeutic because
Mm.
you don't have to think about where you're going. There's no trails or cars or pavements, or barely any other people because no one really gets to the track that early. And you just sort of zone out. I didn't even listen to music for a couple hours of it, just running around. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is. There is
People
something
say that.
strangely appealing to me about it.
Mm.
Yeah, people say that.
I think I can see it. If you're the sort of runner that can get into a sort of metronomic rhythm and stay there, I can see it really, working.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, I mean, I can only talk from personal experience, but as a trail runner, what I like about the trails is the constant variation, the terrain, the muscles I'm using. I know whenever I do a road marathon, or whenever I used to do a road marathon, I mean, that was the absolute limit, I would say, of my body being able to run at a constant sort of pace, without any variables. And I think, yeah, everyone's different, aren't they? And everyone has their groove. And I think you've got a groove there. I think it's
I hope
definitely
so.
worth pursuing. Yeah, yeah.
I suppose that my only thing to the coaches would be I've never really run at that sort of sustained speed for that long before. So I don't know any sort of tips. I mean, my mileage per week has gone up way more than I've ever done before. So I know that my legs and probably my aerobic capacity is better than it's ever been. But outside of that, I'm not sure what else I really need to be doing. I suspect is running that simple.
Well, I think so. First of all, when you say it's a 24-hour track race, I assume that means that you're allowed to step off the track to go to your setup, your
Yeah,
bag,
that's correct. Yeah.
things you've got. That's the key for anything like this. Like every time I coach for a backyard ultra, Enduro 24, all of those kinds of looped races where it's just a continuous amount of running for as long as as much as you possibly can, is like with any ultra. I always say your fitness, great. It's great that you feel aerobically good. It's great that I see you following Pete Stables, my good mate. You're following strength work. All of that stuff is absolutely crucial. But like with any ultra, it's more about reducing the things that can go wrong. So have in your whatever you've got on the side of the track in your setup, have your fueling absolutely nailed. I would actually be getting a spreadsheet and working out what the plan is per hour, and what plan B is as well. If you've planned a jam sandwich at hour 7 and you don't fancy that jam sandwich, what have you got in backup?
Okay.
That's the kind of thing I'd be thinking about. Whilst I'm not a big advocate of massage guns on a normal day-to-day basis, I'd probably chuck one in your bag just to run it over your quads every, few laps or whatever. This was the kind of thing. So I took somebody from having never run more than 16 miles in their life in one run to doing 28 laps and coming second in his first backyard ultra.
Oh, nice.
And that was the key. It was what are we doing in that 10-15 minutes of time that you've got per lap? That was the key. He said, yeah, the running was hard, it got harder and harder, but what kept him going was we went to like some serious lengths. It just so happened that one of his best mates headed up sports therapy at Leeds Beckett University. So he had 2 massage students taking it in turns to massage him at the end of each lap for 5 minutes.
Nice.
That's a dream, isn't it?
We went to that level of what could we possibly do to make this work, and feel good for you, so that you damn well get out there, because that's the key thing with these sorts of races is get back out there, get back out on the loop, and in your case, get back out on the track. So
I was going to say, you don't get 10 or 15 minutes, Robin.
No. I'm allowed. Well, you have to be on the track for 21 hours.
Okay.
That's the only stipulation to bank your distance that you've done. So, I mean, that's quite a lot of time. I'm hoping to not be off the track for more than 20 minutes, to be honest, but you don't know what's going to happen, do you?
No, and a bit like Enduro 24, the first time I had somebody do Enduro 24, he just did 100 miles, but the amount of time he wasted going back to his thing, changing clothes every 3 laps or something.
Mm.
And then the second time he did 140 miles because
Wow.
and his average pace wasn't really that much quicker. It was just that we got much more organized. You know, everything was in Ziploc bags. You know, there was no, all right, I'm on, you know, lap 4. What do I do now? What do I need? It was not only did he have his spreadsheet, but he also had everything bagged up, ready to go. So it was like, right, bag 4, that's what I need. Bosh, off I go.
Great. Okay, well, I need a spreadsheet then.
I like a spreadsheet. They can
Yeah.
be helpful.
I love the spreadsheet.
I was going to say, hopefully, as an accountant, you'll like a spreadsheet too.
Yeah, exactly. I do. No,
Oh,
I
well,
remember,
that's all good. Sorry, go on.
yeah, no, I was just it resonated. Well, reminded me of something that Michael Stocks said. He said that he would try and eat something whole, and if he couldn't eat that, he'd have a gel. If he couldn't stomach a gel, he'd have Coke, and if he couldn't even have Coke, he'd have Coke and water, just sort of mixed together, just anything to get it down. So that's what's plan D, isn't it? So yeah, the spreadsheet's going to get complex.
Nick's absolutely right, though. Have options, because you always want to have something to turn to if the first one isn't right at that particular time. And with everything running related, it's very hard to completely predict what's going to happen. So just have plenty of options available.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you've got somewhere to go when and if it gets tough, do you know? So
Absolutely.
prepared.
Practiced with those options
Mm.
Mm.
during training.
Yeah, I know. My wife keeps saying, "Are you going to take some like whole food out with you on your long runs?" And I'm just like, So I keep missing that. I've just been using drink mix and gels like I do for every long run. But yeah,
What
maybe
are your whole food choices?
I quite like ham sandwiches.
Easy, good, yeah.
That'd be all right, wouldn't it? Is there a bit of salt in the ham? Maybe might be useful. Cold pizza I've had in the past has done me good. I'd sometimes have flapjack, but sometimes I just can't even get through one mouthful of flapjack without wanting to spit the whole thing out, and I don't really know where that's going to go on a track race.
I think again because it's a it's a whole day, you've got to start thinking about hunger cues. You know, our bodies are so in tune with circadian rhythms, and you know, if you have breakfast at a normal time, lunch at a normal time, dinner at a normal time, you might have a snack or something in the morning and the afternoon at a normal time, you're probably going to face that during the run as well. Maybe not as strong as, but you might find that you get to, you know, depending on what time the race starts, but you might get to lunchtime and be like, God, I'm actually feeling a bit hungry. And that is actually a really good opportunity to take on your whole food. You know, it's great that I know there'll be a lot of people out there that will be going, oh, gels, you know, they're horrible. But gels are great. Like in the context of endurance sports, they are great, you know, for portability, although you won't have to worry about that too much during your race. Portability, ease of use, quick energy, brilliant. But I think for something like a 24-hour track race, or most ultras really, you're going to need to start thinking about hunger.
Okay.
And that's a good opportunity to get something solid and savory in as well. You're probably finding with your flapjack that you're spitting it out and going, I don't fancy that. It's because it's just more sweet. A classic for me is like a pot noodle.
Yeah.
Best food ever. Well, for me, post run. Obviously not around a track, but oh my God, post run.
Yeah, something like a noodle, hydration, salts, carbohydrates. I think there's like 50 grams of carbohydrates in a king pot noodle. A little bit of protein, a little bit of fats. That's the other thing in something like a 24-hour race. A little bit of protein is going to be helpful. Not too much, because otherwise you might get some digestion issues. And it's pretty low in fat as well, which is another thing you want to keep low. Despite Keto crew probably screaming into their headphones right now saying, no, nuts, eat nuts. Too much fiber, too much fat.
Well, this is it. Everyone's different, aren't they?
Well, I don't like nuts, so that's good.
There you go.
Well, let's turn back to maximum mileage and find out, Nick, exactly how did it all start for you, and how did Faye come to join you? And I think you've got some other coaches as well, haven't you?
Yes.
So global domination, I see.
Yeah, so yeah, things have come on in the last few years, but it started partly because in my sort of normal career, in inverted commas, I was head of learning and development for various companies. I'd always kind of been involved in training and development of some kind. Even in my hospitality career, I used to be sort of head trainer in some of the restaurants and things that I used to work at. I was on the learning and development team at Bill's restaurants for 70 odd restaurants around the country. And then when I left hospitality completely, I went to Stanley Black and Decker, the tools giant. I was global learning and development director for basically all of our salespeople globally, which when there's 77,000 employees and 50 odd thousand of them were sales people, it was a pretty big job. So I kind of always had this love of helping people get better at stuff, whatever it would be. And yeah, just with my own passion for running, and I'd had a couple of coaches, one of which I won't say who, but one of which I didn't feel like the quality was great, if I'm honest. And today I still get people coming to me saying, "Oh, I never hear from my coach. I don't get much contact. I don't get much feedback." And I get it, because there are a lot of coaches out there that are doing this as a side gig alongside their normal job, in inverted commas. And it's hard to, trust me, I know. Like, I got to the point where I was doing this big full-time corporate job, and at the cusp of do I go full-time with, I was basically doing 2 full-time jobs, with coaching and the corporate job. So anyway, so between my absolute love of running and my love of helping people to develop, and I thought I saw a bit of a gap in the market, really. I thought, well, this is kind of like the next stage of my love of running, and just decided I'd start seeing if some friends wanted some coaching. It was nothing serious. I started charging £15 a month, was how it started. Just to cover the cost of Training Peaks. That was it. That was all I wanted from it, just to cover the cost of Training Peaks, as my coach subscription. And I was just helping some friends and like my sister, and that was it. And then, as these things do, a little bit of word got about, and a couple of those people that would put a post on Facebook or Instagram to say, "Oh, I did a race today, thanks to Coach Nick." And then just a few inquiries just started coming in, and then I thought, well, I should probably do a website. And me being me, I'm a bit of an all or nothing sort of person. So when I designed the website, I went all in, and I learned everything I could possibly learn about SEO, and I managed to get the Maximum Mileage website to pretty much #1 in the UK, and that started bringing plenty of inquiries in. And I've kind of always invested in that sort of stuff. 12 months ago, thanks Google for bringing the AI overview box in and killing Google a little bit. It's pretty frustrating, as I'm sure you probably know, Katie, at the moment. So yeah, getting found that way has become a little bit more difficult, but I've kind of gone all in on social media recently, much to my dismay, but it is what it is. And yeah, it just kind of grew, really, and got myself to a point where I could do this full time. And now I do this full time. I call it a USP, because it really is a USP. Like, our communication, me, Faye, Hannah, and future coaches, this is what we really pride ourselves on, is I always say, like, ultimately, every running coach out there is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to get their athletes to be better, right? That's what we all are trying to do. But I really felt like the gap that was missing in the market was that communication. So, every athlete gets weekly feedback. Every athlete has us at the end of a WhatsApp on tap pretty much whenever they want. They get one-to-ones whenever they want. Okay, within reason. If you want a 3-hour call every day, then be a bit different. But we certainly say monthly one-to-ones. More often if you need to. It's really as in depth and all encompassing as you can possibly get. I've spent time over the last 4.5 years developing a network of very good professionals outside of our, if something doesn't fall in mine and Faye's and Hannah's lane, for example, I'm a performance nutrition coach, but I'm not a dietitian. So instead of me saying, oh, well, I can't help you with that because I'm not qualified, I've actually got a really good network of nutritionists that I've built up over the years that sometimes I just need to drop them a message to say, hey, I've got a question from an athlete. What do you think? And then if they want to go further and work with a nutritionist, I know there's a trusted partner. In fact, one of them has his own Training Peaks account, and I've got a couple of people that I'm obviously the coach, and then that nutritionist is also in their Training Peaks making notes against their daily training. So we've developed those really good partners. We've now got a team physio as well. Another thing that, Christ, if you can find yourself a really good physio, hold on to them for dear life, because the quality of physio out there is not great. So we've really built that sort of what I call an elite level service for non-elite athletes. We don't work with pro runners, not yet, maybe in the future, but not at the moment. And I met Faye because Faye came to me, found me, probably Google, was it?
No, it was Instagram actually.
Or was it? Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm a funny one, because yes, I will Google things, but I think at that particular time I was, you popped up on Instagram, and I'm wondering why and how, but then I remember obviously you are in Corsham and I used to live in Corsham. So I lived in Corsham for 10 years. I grew up around that part of the world, went to school not far from there. And I was like, he's in Corsham of all the places. And for me, that was an instant like, oh, there's a connection there. So I'm gonna, get in touch. And
The thing
I'm
was,
trying to think,
at the time, you were living
yeah,
in Monmouth, which is very close to Abergavenny, which is where I'm from. So it was,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And I've lived in Abergavenny, and that was yeah, exactly. So it was this very strange interwoven
Hate.
story. I think did you start coaching me? Was it 2002? I think it was
No, 2022.
that one. Why
Right.
do I feel like I'm,
So that's
2022?
quite a long time ago now.
Yeah,
That would be incredible.
2022.
Yeah. You came to me because you'd had a bit of a bout of long COVID, hadn't you? And you were still kind of struggling with it, and lost a bit of confidence in in your running, and rightly so because of COVID. And we got on really well as coach athlete, and obviously I knew Faye had years of coaching experience, PT, soft tissue therapy, having been a UK athletics coach, and as her confidence in her running started to come back, and as Max, it was just timing is everything, right? It was just good timing when I said to Faye, look, your running's coming back really well, your confidence is getting there, your racing's going well again. Do you fancy being a coach? I need another one. I need somebody else. I need a padre. So it was sort of quite a natural thing, really. I remember we went for a nice 20 miler around the Beast of the Beacons.
Oh, we did.
I thought it was nice. I'm not sure you thought it was.
At the time, I didn't, because it was the first long run I'd done in probably 2.5 years. And my body had gone, I used to do this without even thinking about it. I used to be able to go, if someone said to me, do you want to do a 20 miler on Saturday? I'd be like, yeah, of course I will. Now I'm like, or then I was like, No, I don't think I can do that anymore. And yeah, it's amazing how that was a bit of a turning point, I think, to
Yeah.
come back to running. It was like, actually, I can still do this. It's just, it's just kind of, I've forgotten what it feels like to be able to push my body. And yeah, no, I didn't die.
But yeah, we had
It
a
probably.
good
Go
chat.
on, sorry.
Yeah, we had a good chat that day, and yeah, we sort of just went about making it happen. Really, got you on the website. You corrected all my spelling mistakes several times. Yeah, and we've just formed a really good partnership. Yeah, without really trying too much.
Mm.
Like we don't like have business meetings every week and stuff. We've just had a sort of really good kind of, you've got your strengths, particularly on the female health side of things. In fact, like Faye's actually set up a female only group now, which I'm sure you're part of, Casey.
Yeah.
You know, even I'm not in it, as the founder, owner of Maximum Mileage, I'm like, no, I don't want to medal. That's for the ladies.
And make it, and I think because Katie, we were on our emails yesterday making that point of we're not it's not that thing of kind of alienating men. It's that thing of giving, because it's an interesting one because we have two chats. We have the big maximum mileage chat, and I often go, a lot of the conversation, and completely unintentionally, is quite male orientated, even down to like talking about nutrition and things like that. And then certain topics that some of my clients have come to me and started talking about. And I think it's all very well talking to me about it, and I'm more than happy to discuss it. But if they had a forum of people, they can kind of go, does anyone else have this? Does anybody else find that they're really struggling? Well, the heat of the summer has been a huge topic of conversation this year. And most of the ladies in the chat have been like, heat is killing me this year. I cannot deal with, the high temperatures, trying to train in the heat. My body isn't regulating, etc. And whether that's to do with perimenopause, menopause, whatever that might be, just having that conversation and going, I'm not the only one who thinks they're going absolutely mad because they're like melting when they go for a 5K. And just things like that seem to be making quite a difference in regards to, just having that chance to stick a message in the chat and see if anybody else has a similar experience or knows of anything that they can do to help it or, reduce the symptoms and things like that.
Are there any male sort of orientated topics that you guys would think actually there's some stuff I don't broach in here because there are women? I mean, is there scope for
that's a good point. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I found it really hard to run today because I couldn't shave this morning, or I don't know what.
I know what you mean. It's something that's crossed my mind, but I think the way I, it's not just about people selecting us as coaches. I'm pretty fussy on who we select as athletes. I've made cock-ups with a couple of people in the past. And a big part now is that maximum mileage chat group, because it is such a nice group. It's so supportive. There's never any aggro on there. There's been a couple of healthy debates, but they've not been truly healthy, not like argumentative. It's just been a bit of healthy debate about whatever it might be. And that's because the reason that group is so nice is because I'm really fussy about who I let into maximum mileage. So no, there's never really anything un-PC. None of the guys are posting stupid comments in there or misogynistic stuff. It's just
Never, no.
Not the kind of.
Oh no. But it's interesting. I mean, as obviously we were talking about it on email, Faye, and obviously we've just published an article about women in ultra running. But I'm also very conscious, as you say, not to alienate men. I mean, men have specific requirements as well, and it's trying to highlight the fact that women have separate and different needs, but they're no sort of better or more important than men's. And but because I'm a woman, I can concentrate on those, and I'm hoping someone somewhere is looking after the men as well. You know,
I don't know whether we do have specific needs, to be honest. Like, I
no,
don't.
just get
I'm
out there and
racking my
run.
brains here to come up with something for the guys, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I'm not saying, sorry, Nick, carry
No,
on.
I was just going to say that the only thing physiologically that I could potentially think is like very specific to men is maybe a bit of ball chafing.
Well,
Yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But other than that, the only thing that really springs to mind for me is men's mental health.
And that is exactly where I was going, Nick, because having worked in community mental health, I know that the biggest area of, I want to use the word concern because I think it is, and the biggest area of kind of investment has been in men's mental health. And I know that having been working in kind of the valleys of South Wales, where men's mental health is significantly high, you know, that is an area that I definitely think is so important, and that requires a very different approach to how you would approach support for female mental health support, because we spent months trying to develop provision for men that has to look very different to women. And one of the best things that works, and this, I've completely forgotten what the name of the group is, but there is a very successful men's walking and talking group, and they meet once a week and they head into the hills and they plan a route. They go out for a whole day, they walk, but they talk about everything and anything that they feel they want to. And by giving them a kind of something, they don't feel like they're just going to chat about
Yeah.
things. They're doing something they enjoy, but they're equally chatting and actually inadvertently really helping each other out by being able to, you know, chat and open up, and you know, and
Yes, because they don't
yeah,
practice like talking, do they? It's
exactly. Whereas
sort of
us women
self-conscious.
tend to be okay with sitting down with a coffee and sitting face to face with a couple of friends and just you know, putting the worlds to right. But that's something I definitely think is important, and you know, is, you know, a big part of of the story as well, definitely.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
There is
I almost committed suicide. That was, you know, I was nearly one of those statistic of, was it the biggest killer of men under 40 in the UK is suicide, and I was, you know, that was a big part of the reason I started
Really?
in the first place was suicide attempt recovery. So I get it.
Yeah.
There is an organisation called Run Talk Run, but it's not male specific. But I've been to a couple of the ones it was in Chesterfield, not too far, and that was nice. And it was obviously encouraging people to come and just have a chat about their mental health with running. So it does exist, but again, yeah, it wasn't male specific. But actually, having said that, there was only ever men there, so clearly there was a draw there for people to come and chat. And gave the opportunity for people to do that. And actually, it was, even though I only went a few times, it did help quite a lot actually, to just sort of chat about my week and the day, and just sort of ease your mind over issues that you might not otherwise talk about.
Absolutely. I think things like that are incredibly valuable, definitely.
I wanted to go back to something you said, Faye, about your big run with Nick, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this probably flies in the face of everything any coach ever advises. But I've always found that a sort of massive run out of the blue when you're not fit, actually just, I think it gives, whether it's a mental thing or physical, but it gives me a springboard kind of back into fitness. And it sort of blows the whole 10% increase out of the water. But if it's not done, you know, under pressure, you know, under race conditions, like my 50K a couple of weeks ago, you know, lots of walking, lots of walk jogging. But I mean, the longest run I'd done before that was 1 10-miler, about 3 or 4 weeks before. But I finished it feeling great. I didn't even die the next day. And I just, wonder how, that it kind of flies in the face of what everyone says coaching wise, but is there a sort of scientific analysis for that or formula?
See, I would say there's nothing wrong with that. I have had plenty of athletes do exactly that, and they've decided they want to just go out, particularly people who I'm working with in early days, because sometimes I think they feel they need to prove a point to me, which they certainly don't. But I've had a couple of people who we've been, I've set out the first couple of weeks and I know of their kind of running background and where they want to go. And then on a Sunday, they've decided to go out and do 25 miles. And I was like, oh, okay. And then went on digging a bit deeper and having a conversation. They were like, I just felt the need to get out and kind of do it. And someone offered me the chance to go out, and I'm like, that's absolutely fine. How did it feel? And I think more importantly, what did they get from it? And it almost like scratches an itch, and then they come back the next week and they're like, right, we're back to it. It's like a bit, I don't know how to describe it, but certainly wouldn't, if it became a frequent thing, then I'd be
Yes,
like,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
have had that quite a few times, and I
Mm.
think, digging a bit deeper, it is a little bit of a, oh God, I need to do this to prove a point and kind of set expectations. And then I'm like, absolutely fine that you've done it. Well done. You've still
Mm.
got it. You've still got what you told me you didn't think you had anymore. And I think
Mm.
sometimes there is a little bit of that where they've gone, oh my God, I can
Okay.
still do it. I've still got it. And I think it's just a bit of a reassurance for people sometimes. And when Nick took me out on that 20 miler, I was like, oh, shit, I've not done this for so long.
Mm.
How embarrassing if I can't, finish it, or something, like I get halfway round and I just completely lose it. Do you know what I mean? You just, something that used to be so second nature suddenly becomes a real challenge. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I think I'd say, I always like to know why. I like to know why you've done it.
Mm.
What's the reason behind it? I'm one of those people that if people are doing things slightly different to their program, or questioning, am I running far enough? Am I going quick enough? Why are you, talking about trusting the process and trusting
Mm.
your own ability, and, just finding out a little bit more about why they might have done that or why they want to do it.
I think sometimes
Is it?
those off the cuff,
Mm.
long run type things where like with yourself, Katie, you said, is there a scientific reason behind it? Like sometimes they can give you that breakthrough that you've been looking
Yeah.
for, on a scientific point of view, to sort of answer that part of your question. There is no scientific 10% rule. That's
Oh,
rubbish,
really?
quite frankly. I think it can apply very nicely to somebody who is very new to running. They're just getting started. But for somebody like you, who has done big events in the past, has done long runs in the past, just because you haven't done a 50K, 20 miles, whatever it is, in months, your body has
Yes.
all of these lifetime miles in them.
Mm.
There's actually studies that show that people that have had very sporty backgrounds as kids, and I could probably use myself as this because I was, country level cricket and rugby, county level football. Like I was in all the teams at school, played every sport you could possibly do. I'd spent hours running up and down the cricket field. And okay, I then spent 20 years in hospitality, 15 of which smoking 40 Marlboro Reds a day. When I did get into running, I think some of that fitness that I had as a kid, that sportiness that I'd had as a kid, did start to come out. So we do talk about those lifetime, the lifetime miles in running, and where the 10% rule doesn't work very well is, like, for example, if you've got somebody who's just done a 100-mile ultra marathon, and then they've got another 100-miler in 6 months' time, if they obviously need a recovery period. So let's say they had 4 weeks of a bit of a recovery period of running no more than say they get up to 10 miles, but you're not going to put 10% on that each week, because
No.
it would take forever to get back to the sort of the 20-25 mile long run that you ideally would want them doing in on a regular basis. So that's where I don't think the 10% rule works very well. And also, if you did 80 miles as your sort of peak, one of your peak weeks, and then you whacked it up to 88, 90 the following week, that's quite a big jump from one week to another. That's like a whole extra 90-minute run for most people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But in terms of that sort of individual breakthrough, I think there's a lot to be said for the mental aspect. Being able to say, "Do you know what? That was knackering or whatever, but I can still do this." And then you wouldn't want to go out and do another 50k the following week, but you could probably still go out and do a 16 miler or something.
Yeah. I think yes, as you say, I don't know if it's psychological or physiological, but definitely my runs after that have felt just so much easier. Whether that's just because it's a mental thing, and I did 50k, so this 3 miles or 5 miles is easy.
How was your running going?
Well, apart from the fact I've got a massive leg from dropping my motorbike on it at the weekend.
Good start to the week.
I know. This was all set to start with Faye this week, and so it was going great. So, but I'm just resting it at the moment. The bruise is growing. I'll send you another picture, Faye.
Right. It's funny, not funny, but Katie sent me a picture and I went, oh my God. So whilst I was on holiday back in May, I was like, God, I had a bruise exactly like that when I fell off a pavement trying to avoid some pedestrians, and I've never fallen so slowly but painfully in my life, and ended up with a massive bruise, just like Katie's, on my shin that stayed for weeks, and I looked like I'd had a run-in with, well, I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh
Yeah.
And all this is fat. I've got no knee anymore. It's all one width from thigh to ankle.
Maybe next week then. Maybe next week we can talk about your running.
No, I think another couple of days. I think it's just the swelling. It's the swelling that hurts. Nothing else. It's like the skin is just being so taut, But yeah.
Nick, you touched on how you reluctantly use social media, but I really like your social media. I like the YouTube. I like the Instagram.
Your videos are great.
Yeah, you've caught a decent amount of views with a couple of them as well. I've noticed on YouTube. It's weird how some catch and some don't, isn't it?
Oh, and actually, I've reposted the same one a couple of times now, and that same one keeps getting hundreds of thousands of views.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, thank you. I'm trying. I've actually, against my better judgment, but I have been advised to set up a separate YouTube channel. So I've got one because as you guys probably know, but for the people listening, I do enjoy a marathon as well as in the road. I do enjoy road running as well as trail and ultra. I call myself a hybrid runner, not a hybrid athlete, not one of these dudes who top off and cap turn backwards all the time. Doing high rocks, not that kind of hybrid. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually doing a bit of a double dip in January, where I've got the Houston Marathon, where I'm going to have another crack at 2:35, and then 12 later I've got the Arc of Attrition 100.
You need to tell us that. Okay. So I'm just checking. So you don't have a maximum mileage YouTube channel? Is it just Nick Hancock?
It's Run with Nick Hancock, and then the ultra one is going to be Ultra with Nick. And how it goes. I mean, as I've gone full time with this, and the business is expanding, I'm talking to another couple of coaches that are coming on board. Oh, I got a bit of feedback then.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we will be setting up a maximum mileage channel. Yeah, just got to get up to Faye's and do some filming with her, and it just takes a bit more organizing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, how much time does that take to do all these videos and
Well,
your smart new drone?
do you know what? I used to take the mick out of, these other coaches who have, fairly big social media presences, thinking, oh, they never do any coaching. But actually, do you know what? When you get your ass in gear and you get a bit of a system to doing some of the filming, and look, I have somebody who edits the videos for me. That's the long bit.
Mm.
Okay.
Most of my videos, I just record them off the cuff. And if you're organized, no more than an hour a week. In a 40-hour working week, it might look like, oh, Nick, all he does is go on social media. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. I film some stuff, I stick it in the Google Drive, and then the guy who does the editing, he does it for me.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, that's probably a very good use of time.
Yeah, it costs me money to do that, but it would cost me more, and it would cost my
In time.
assets more, and it would cost my, the coaching business. It would affect Faye. It would affect Hannah if I was trying to do all the filming myself, all the editing and posting and things myself. So it's a worthwhile investment.
How close is Houston Marathon to the Arc?
A massive 12 days.
Oh my gosh. And how close?
Oh yeah.
What's your PB so far?
So my PB is 250, bang on.
Right, okay.
Which I did at London, which is the medal just there. But obviously London was very, very hot.
It was.
Year, and I'd never done London before. I've coached, I don't know how many people I've coached for London, but if there's one thing I would say, if you want to go and run a PB faster than 250, it's not the place to do it. It was so busy.
Mm.
It was so busy for like 18 miles. If I'd tried to run at 235 pace, which I was in shape for, all of my data was saying I was in the right place for it. I started off at that pace. I was running actually with another guy for a few miles, and we both looked at each other and went, "This ain't going to happen, is it?" It's just you would spend so much energy weaving in.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Or frustrating more than anything, isn't it?
And it was frustrating, but if I would say anything, I know this is an ultra podcast, but if there's one thing I would say is that go to London for the experience, because it was very cool. It was, I have to say. I know it's probably not in
training run.
It was actually, because then 4 weeks later I did the South Downs Way 100, my debut 100 miler. Actually, I've coached I don't know how many 100 milers, and it was my first 100 miler, and it went very well. I was mixing it up with some.
Were you seventh?
No, I was 27th.
Okay.
But in a very, very deep field.
Yeah.
It was,
and looking back on some of my data and stuff from the race, there's loads of time. I'm going to go back next year and have another go. I did it in 1754.
Such an incredible time.
It is an incredible time, and to be 27th with that time, it's like, what?
Yeah, shows you the level of athlete that race attracts.
Very deep field.
Yeah, I think you need to find another 100 miler, Nick, and then you'll win it.
It could be easily won it, probably.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 weeks later, I got a very, very, very late entry into Race to the Stones and came third.
Yes, I saw that. That was brilliant.
It was far too hot. I don't know how you did that.
Oh, look at that. Brilliant.
I was so hot, yeah. I was third. I want to say just behind Hugh Tibbs and Joe Turner, who are, they are pro runners.
Yeah.
Joe Turner's on the GB 100K team. I wasn't just behind them. I was a good hour, but then it was a good half an hour in front of the person behind me, and that was a hot day. It was 38 at one point. So yeah.
Ouch. Well, Robin was there,
Yeah.
so.
And I'll see you again at the Arc, but only at the beginning, I think.
Speaking of which, we have actually met in person, haven't we? We met at the
We did it at the running show.
show. Yeah. I was here with Holly, and you.
Yeah. I was just fanboying her from the crowd.
What's I'm interested in. So obviously you're doing this marathon, and then the Arc. So that tells me that you believe in speed and speed work being good and healthy for ultra running. It's well, the one thing that I took away. My first ever coach was Stu Mills, who, older guy. I mean, I loved him because he was 10. I think he was about 10 years older than me, and a couple of years earlier than that, he'd won Leighton 100 2 years in a row outright.
I think he's local to me, isn't he? Isn't he?
He must have been 50. He's down in the Weald, Sussex way.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Because he still runs, there's a couple of races down there, like a half marathon and whatnot. But his sort of main driving force was running as well as you can from the outset. And that the speed work that you do in training just raises your average pace.
Yeah.
So that your easy average pace is just faster.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, Steve Magnus says it very well, actually, is, if you can raise the ceiling, you'll also raise the floor, or gives you the opportunity to raise the floor. One of my many sayings is get fast, get strong, run long. So yes, massive believer in speed work. I'm also just a massive believer in being able to run well, because I think I've said this in one of the articles I've written on the website, that in ultra, people can get so fixated on the elevation on a course or that one long climb that they do so much hill work and forget that actually even like UTMB, Lakeland, the Arc has a 14-kilometer stretch where it is pancake flat. People forget that actually there are significant runnable sections, and also just speed itself lends really well into hill strength, and being faster uphill. So yeah, I say it all the time. If you want to go out and plod your way through an ultra marathon, absolutely no problem. You go and do that, no worries at all. Just go and do some ploddy training. But if you want to run it well, run it strong, do the best that you possibly can, then speed work absolutely matters.
Yeah. I like that.
Me too. I've got a speed session today that I'm dreading this evening, but you can only do your best, can't you? So.
And you often surprise yourself, to be fair. I think I know I'm someone who gets myself in knots over speed sessions, and I will see what Nick's put in for me and I will go, oh my actual God, that looks disgusting. And I will overthink it, and then I'll be like, oh my God, where am I even going to run? Because I don't live somewhere terribly flat, so I am limited to where I can do it. And then it's like, God, I'm going to have to run around that loop about 10 times. And then you're just thinking, and then I go out and I start it and I go, it'll be what it'll be. And then I get home and I'm like, shit, I've done it. But the amount of time I waste overthinking what is planned is amazing. But if Nick plans me a really tough hill session, I'm like, I can't wait to go and do that. Like I will do that 10 times over versus a speed session. And I'll be like, oh, I'm excited for this. This is great. And I'll often come home and go, that was brilliant. I love that. I don't think I ever say that about a speed session, but yeah.
Speed sessions. Is that a terrible thing to say? I can't wait to do them again.
Oh, see, no, that's really good. And I think it's that's really good attitude to have. And I know it's I just have this love-hate relationship with it. When I'm doing it and thinking about it, I'm like, this is awful. This is so disgusting. And
you
then
feel amazing
you
afterwards.
do, you really do. And the
feel like you're
absolute
king of the world.
You do, and it's such a, you look at it and I'm not huge on analysing stats, if I'm fair. I do look, but I'm kind of like, and I have a little browse and I go, oh, I hit all those intervals. And I'm genuinely like, yes, I can, it is, yeah, it's good. It's just that initial kind of self-doubt where you go, oh God, this is never going to happen today.
Yeah. When you've successfully hit the paces and everything, there's nothing better than looking at it afterwards
I
on
know.
Strava, and I'm just like, yes, I did that rep, just like tapping it one by one. Yes, this is all very good. Yes, well done
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be me tonight.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah.
What have you got to do tonight?
6 by 1 mile, but it's at 6-minute miles, which is pretty fast for me. So we'll
What?
yeah.
What's
So,
your,
Wow.
what's your sort of 5K PB?
17:20 to be, which I know is much quicker than that, but I'm still working my way back there a little bit.
Yeah.
So
You're
yeah.
gonna hurt. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe just reminding myself of that while I'm doing it should be fine.
Yeah, you'll feel amazing afterwards. We need to know. You need to share a post-workout
Okay, I
video
will
with us
do.
on Instagram.
Yeah, I will do.
Where are you going to do it?
I have to drive. I'm like you, Faye. There's only finite options around
Yeah.
here for flat running, and I get bored of just running down the main road, the A6.
I know.
All the time. So I'll probably drive somewhere just to a loop, just because I prefer loops.
Obviously. Keep it on point.
Yeah, exactly. Where I can just sort of like lock in a little bit more and not think about where's my turnaround point.
Oh, I know. Or traffic lights or crossings, or I'm like, oh God, I don't want to have to stop at a crossing
No.
for a car or
Exactly. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Can you
Yeah.
go to a track to do it?
I could do, but normally Macclesfield track is the nearest one to me here, and sometimes in the evenings it's rented out by Macclesfield Harriers or AC. What is it? I can't remember which one. And so it might not be available, but I could check actually. That's not a bad shout. It'd be a lot easier, I think, round a track, which maybe wouldn't be the best thing. I don't know.
Specificity, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're training.
What was that, Nick?
Specificity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, if I can run around it that quick, then I can certainly plod round it much slower for longer. Yeah. True. Yeah, so looking forward to it. Have you got any races or anything booked, Faye?
I have a half marathon in next month. I've qualified for the England Masters team, and
wow.
so I did a qualification race in March and went into that a little bit kind of like, oh, I needed to get like top 3, and I was like, oh, and I was 4th, and I was like, oh. And then I just like, oh, well, it wasn't meant to be. And then I had an email a week later saying, we're actually taking teams of 4. You've qualified. And I was like, oh my actual God, I can't believe it. And what's great is it's the autumn version of the course I did in March, and it's literally 15 minutes from my house. I know the course really well.
Forest
But
of Dean, right?
pardon?
Forest of Dean. Yeah.
Yes, Forest of Dean Trail Half Marathon. And running for England, but having lived in Wales for the last 10 years and recently moved just back across into England. I have run for Wales in the past through living there. And this race next month is actually an England versus Wales kind of clash. So I'm quite excited, and having seen the team sheet that every Welsh runner I pretty much know.
Oh,
You've been wearing
really?
an England vest.
Yeah, having run with them or against them over the last 10 years. So that should be quite exciting.
Did they send you a vest, or do you have to pay? Do you have to pay for it?
Nowadays, you have to pay.
Yeah, I thought you might.
So when I first ran for Wales, which was back in 2019, we were given a load of kit. And then that year I ran for them twice, and again they gave us more kit. And then after COVID, everyone that ran qualified after that had to pay for their kit. So yeah,
Funding got pulled, didn't it? Never mind.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But getting to
Not
put on
just
the best.
ultras.
Yeah. Getting to put
Not
on the best.
interesting.
Yeah. Must be very special. Yeah.
I'm excited. It should be a good race, and if I can get close to what my PB is on that course, I'll be quite happy. So my PB on that course is just over 1 hour 29. So if I can come anywhere near that, I'll be quite pleased with that.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, silly question, but is this road or trail?
Trail.
Okay.
Yeah, with just enough elevation to make it interesting, but nothing too technical to kind of basically throw me off, because I'm not much of a technical descender. So ideally, I have more chance to, once I've, beat someone up a climb, I can keep them off my back on the descents.
Okay.
So it's that kind of course, which is quite handy.
Oh,
Wicked.
wow.
What
Yeah, brilliant.
What sort of elevation is it? Do you know?
Do you know, I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. It's nothing crazy, but it's
Right.
enough to kind of, yeah,
I'm just trying to have a quick look now, but
let's have a look.
because it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Like, to the type of race it is and the type of runner it attracts, I suppose, as well.
Because, here we go. Hang on. It is 200 meters over the whole.
Okay, that's
So it's
good.
one of those undulating type courses, which is quite fun. So there's not much time to kind of, there's nothing consistently flat, if that makes sense.
Can get quite tactical, that sort of
Yes.
elevation.
Which is always good, especially near the end, where I know there is a climb and you think, who's still got it in them?
And you love the hill session, so you'll be
I
waiting.
do. So that's where I try to catch people.
Nice.
Say,
I like it.
Faye is one of the best uphill runners I've ever met. Like, how many times have you won Queen of the Sting at the
So when at Coed Brennan, when they were running all their events, Matt included within the half marathon a King and Queen of the Sting, which is basically, I'm trying to recall, about a 300-meter climb, which is pretty steep and consistent. And basically, my objective every year was to win that trophy. And from it being established, I won it, I think, 6 times. But the last time he ran the race, I couldn't go, so someone else won it last year.
Oh,
Absolutely
no.
gutted that but to be fair, the person that won it in the last race is someone I know very well, who very much deserves it. So I was quite pleased that she got it as the last person. But yeah, it was always my objective. If there's ever a climbing prize of some sort, that's what I go out to try and win.
I bet that
Oh,
other
brilliant.
person saw that you weren't on the start line and were like,
Yeah.
yes, I've got a chance.
She will have done exactly that.
Yeah.
Where is it in the race? How far
So
in?
it's near the end, actually. So
Okay.
it is approximately 3 miles from the end. So you get to the top of it and you basically have 1.5 miles to absolutely kill yourself to get back to the finish. And you're just like, you just have to hold on. And I'll never forget the last time I did it. I came out of the climb and then there's still a little bit more you have to push out of. And then I saw the person in second in the race and I was like, she had really severe cramp. And I did stop and talk to her and I was like, are you okay? She's like, I'm absolutely done. And then there's this little part of me that was like, yes. As I just like, I hope you're okay, but I'm going to go now.
Oh, good for you.
So
Good
yeah.
for you. Yeah, I'm just looking back in 2016, I was second lady at the Wheeled Half Marathon.
Nice.
I'm looking at these figures now, and it's just like, yeah, nearly 10 years ago. 13.4, 1,000 foot. Sorry, I'm old fashioned. Average pace 8:17 miles. I'm like, oh my God, I would kill to do that again.
Yeah. It's never too late.
No, it isn't.
It isn't.
And I really do, 100% believe that, actually.
It is absolutely never too late, and it is definitely I just feel like, I just feel like things take slightly longer to get to where they used to, whereas they just used to happen like that. And now it's like, oh, I need to think about this a little bit more and be a little bit more mindful of recovery and things. But it's definitely there.
All part of our
And
coaching
nutrition.
that, age is but a number. Yeah, okay, there's definitely factors that you have to take into account, but a lot of the people we coach are 35 up to 55, 60, and I've just turned 43 and still trying to run crazy times. So
well, as I say, that was that was nearly 10 years ago. So I would have been 45, and I was definitely at at a peak then, super fit. But yeah, I think yeah, you've got to be cleverer, and your recovery, as you say, Faye. But if the mind is willing, the body follows. I think.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a guy in my running club who has been trying to get sub 3 forever, and he's early 60s, and he got it last year.
Yeah.
And like also broke his half marathon, his 10K, like everything at like 64 years old.
Sub 3. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely never too late. I just look at him and think, I've got 30 years.
Well, I mean, this is it, and this was said earlier about Stu Mills, winning Lakeland 100 2 years in a row outright, and so I think he was aged 53 and 54 respectively.
Yeah,
I mean, it probably wouldn't happen now. I do think in the ultra world, while the average is still sort of mid-30s upwards, I think the younger ones are coming in. And the people are getting faster, aren't they? So buggers. Go back to the marathon, stay there until you're at least 35.
Some of the outstanding performances now are coming from, I mean, what was Caleb Olsen, who won Western States? Is it 29, I think?
Yes. Yeah.
Boyer, the kid, like 22, something like that. Yeah, there's some crazy young.
Well, and people like Tom Jolly and Tom Evans, they're all young. Thinking about the lady. Oh well, I mean, Fee Pascal. I mean, she can only be a whippersnapper. I don't know how old she is.
She's a bit younger than me. Because I know Beth. Beth is the same age as me. We went to school together, well, primary school together. A little tenuous link, but her sister's a little bit younger than us. So she is in her 30s.
She's around my age, I think. I think she's in the 35 to 39 bracket.
Oh, is she?
Is she in that already?
Yeah.
I thought she was younger than. Well, we're in the same age category then. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Oh well. Okay. No, we need to find some other ladies, young ladies.
The Anna Llewellyn who won Lakeland 100, how old is she? I think she's quite young, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's quite young, isn't she?
Yeah.
Definitely
I did Beast of the Blacks, one of Limitless events. I only the 20 miler, and the person that won that was female, young girl, nobody had ever heard of it. She destroyed the course record, destroyed it.
Oh really? That's interesting. Only 20 miles.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed it. Nobody was like, who the hell is she? There were people checking her Strava to make sure she'd actually got it. I think there was a question of cutting a bit of the course off, but it was like 0.02 of a mile or something. They went through that gate instead of that gate.
Yeah.
But that was her and the other two. But yeah, two very strong male runners. One of them was 10th or 12th, I think, at UTS 50K.
Mm.
So like very, very good quality runners, and she annihilated them.
Was that because of her use? I mean, are we looking at, middle-aged records that are there waiting to be broken by the young ones?
Potentially. Fearless.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't there, of just going out and hammering it? But yeah, I think ultra's popularity now is the people doing it. I mean, Race to the Stones, Christ, I felt like a really old man. But there were, I felt like a really old man stood there on the
Really?
side around going, oh my God, like all these kids around me.
Yeah.
And it's gotten cool to do ultras. People like what's his name, the crazy ginger, or hard geezer. That's it.
Hard geezer, yeah. Russ Cook
doing these crazy challenges. People are like, oh well, if he can run across Africa, then I'll go and do Race to the Stones and put it on Instagram. And out of that, there are going to be some of these youngsters that go and do it for a laugh, and then all of a sudden we've found ourselves a new star because they've absolutely crushed it.
I think it's exciting. I know we all will. Well, I'll lose places for it, Nick. I'm not sure you or Faye will. But yeah, I like the younger it gets. It's interesting, as long as it's not too young, obviously. But sort of like early 20s.
Yeah.
Should be physiologically there to absolutely smash a long distance race and then probably recover 3 days later.
Yeah.
But then it isn't just about the fitness, is it? It's about the strategy and the experience that goes with it.
Yeah.
I would say up to 100 miles, you're probably looking at someone who could just race it and race it fast. But I think any of the really long stuff, I think
I think the really long stuff does still lend itself to the people that have got lifetime miles in there. I'll come back to that point again. Lifetime miles are super important. And I think I think as we explore more about physiology and the science behind ultra running, which is still really new.
Yeah.
We are still exploring so much. There's still new things coming out all the time about ultra running, which then does make me laugh when people go, "Oh, well, the science doesn't say such and such." It's like, well, we don't know a lot about ultra running.
No,
so it's actually quite. Going back to our coaching business, I'm not afraid to experiment. Absolutely not afraid to experiment because we know so little about ultra. So yeah, there's a little bit of logical thinking behind it, but yeah, I just think with the way things are changing physiologically, the more we learn about fueling, the more the tech improves in shoes and things like that. We are going to start seeing these crazy performances coming from all kinds of people. It's not. I don't think it's just youngsters. I think some of the older crew as well. Love him or hate him, David Roche and what he's done at Leadville the last 2 years, breaking the unbreakable record twice.
I love him.
I know David, so I love him.
Why do people hate him? Sorry, I know you need to go, but
that's okay. He's I think he's definitely the Marmite of.
Oh, really?
He's very. It's almost this like awkward positivity that he puts out into the world, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's so endearing.
Yeah.
Both he and Megan, they're so cute. And that little video they put out the other day when she was pacing him up the up that hill, power line, whatever it was. Oh, it was just so cute. I don't know how anyone could be offended by that. We all need a Megan. I want a Megan.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. No, go on, finish up, Nick.
As we learn more about physiology and particularly the physiology of ultra and the science behind training and things, it's I think it's early days. Like some of these crazy records out there, I think we'll probably look back in 10 years time and think, wasn't that crazy at the time actually?
No, there's definitely going to be more records, a lot more records broken, I think.
100k went yesterday.
Yeah,
I know.
What was it? Under 6 hours. Yeah.
5:59:20.
Yes, but those silly shoes.
I
really?
know.
Yeah, I mean it was another Eliud Kipchoge sub 2 type thing. It's all very
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And Faith with her sub 4.
Yes.
But I think, I've been in conversation with Adrian Stott about that, and he's going to write about it in a while. It's an interesting, because I think on some ways it's sort of positive for our industry, but on others that's just tinged with commercialization, really, isn't it? And you're like, it's all about making money, really.
Yeah.
But there we go. Nick, I know you must go. Thank you both so much. I had no idea we've been talking for so long. It's just flown by. Thank you both. Everyone, Robin too. I will see you in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.